Welcome to Good Morning Uganda with me, Olive Monica Najima, and in a special way, welcome to the new month of August 2024. Today is the first day of August 2024, so we have another 29 days to see what August has for us. Now, also in a special way, I welcome the Baganda back from the festivities of yesterday, where we had a Thanksgiving ceremony at Namirembe Cathedral, where we're celebrating 31 years of His Majesty Ronald Muwenda Mutebi Chimera II, as he's been reigning on the throne in Buganda as our king. So for whoever that was following attentively, and for everyone that made it to the cathedral, we welcome you back from those festivities, and once again we say long live the king. Awangale I Sabasajja. Here at UBC, we had a special event. If you missed it, we had a special broadcast. And if you missed it, you can find it on our YouTube channel. That is UBC on YouTube. And you will be able to follow what happened yesterday, because we were bringing you live updates from the cathedral. Also, among the events that happened yesterday was me being extremely shocked. Forward, I was extremely shocked by how smooth and fluent Sonko sounded in his Luganda. I know he speaks Luganda, but you know, it's one thing to speak Luganda in just normal conversation, and it's another thing to actually go out there and broadcast in the language. So for me, my man of the week is Jerome Paul Sonko. Good morning, Jerome.
Good morning to you, and good morning to our dear viewer. A happy new month of August. I was with the same energy, proud of myself for executing the work yesterday in Luganda.
Yes.
Just like you've said, it's a different kind of art, if I'm to use it in that way, for you to broadcast in your local language. More so if at all you've not been used to broadcasting in the same.
Yes.
And even when you look at the breakdown of the newsroom, you get to realize that there is a breakdown of the English-speaking journalists and then the Luganda-speaking journalists.
Yes.
Same applies to other countries where there are those, for example, within East Africa, those that are majorly into Kiswahili, and the others are in English reporting.
That's right.
You know, it's not an easy thing. However much you can be fluent when it comes to speaking the language, but then presenting in the language is another hassle of its own. But yesterday was a fruitful day, and the Buganda culture was fully represented by those who made their way to Namirembe Cathedral, and then also the fact that many of the grandchildren of Buganda Kingdom were fully behind the King's coronation anniversary, or the 31st King's coronation anniversary, with which we also saw the king be able to address his subjects, though he was not physically present at the venue, but at least with a clip that was recorded and shared with his subjects. It is something that gave many of the people of Buganda, or the Baganda, joy to know that their king is well and moving better.
Well, the king is well, and we say Mwali, Kabaka Mwali. And also the other person I would like to give his flowers is the Katikiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Maiga, because he's been battling with so much, especially since the Kabaka took ill. There have been many things being said on social media, and you know, most of them have been detrimental to his position as Katikiro of Uganda, but also to the kingdom. So I love that he was able to, first of all, give us this Thanksgiving ceremony, but also that the king is back home. And in as much as he's not fully well, at least we know that he's getting better. And I think Robert would agree with me on that. Hello, Robert.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very, very fine, and I hope our viewers over what happened yesterday when I saw the Baganda gather and well-wishers of Uganda Kingdom, and because we had even representatives from other kingdoms that were at the cathedral. Now, the message was very clear that we should learn how to manage these lips when you go on social media. The Katikkiro was clear. The Kabaka himself in a televised speech to the country, to the Uganda, you would also feel empologoma teyabadde ensanyufu with some of the people who have their own ill intentions and go on spreading false propaganda about the kingdom, about the king. So it calls, the message was, let's first think before we communicate anything. And let's not use the kingdom or the Kabaka to promote our personal agendas.
Yes.
Omutana teyabadde musanyufu, abavuuka Omutana teyabadde musanyufu gye tuli olwekyo baje muli mwegendereza. This excitement, you hear something, you don't want to get the news or the facts right, but you go ahead and you spread certain things. Because now that we heard him speak, he was very clear. The prayers were held. The Katikkiro was also very clear. But for me, when I was listening to the Katikkiro, he seems to be in a jolly position now.
Yes.
And you would feel the strength in his voice. Bavuuka bano, bantu bano, temujja kunjuya eriyo, you know.
Temukirizibwa.
He was like, finally, I've proven you wrong.
Yes.
And I'm here and I'll not be shaken by whatever funny communications, nonsense. You know, I think we are doing so much bad on social media. More so this app called TikTok.
Well, social media in our times has done a lot of good, but has also become detrimental in certain arenas. So as users, we really need to be careful. But you see, the problem is that those who use it are largely young people who are easily impressionable and also easily excited. And unfortunately, where for us, we grew up in an era where you'd listen to the news that has been properly researched and presented, we have young people that are being raised by conspiracy theories and excitement. And even away from the issue of the Kabaka, you find that some young people are misusing social media, and it is really sad. Now, yesterday we didn't have Chantal Olive Kaninda for the last 2 days, but I'm glad to announce that she's back with us, and I believe she's in good health. And she looks amazing in that African dress. Good morning.
Good morning, Olive. How are you feeling today?
I am great. How are you?
I'll be okay. It's been a long stretch. The 2 days were long. For some reason, I think it is indeed true, or I know it is indeed true that our mouth can actually create something. On Monday, I said this is going to be a long week, and believe me, I feel like it's Friday already. It's been a long week.
And yet it's just Thursday.
It's just Thursday. It's been a long week. But yesterday, the team was very smart. We
missed to see you in a Gomesi.
The team was very smart yesterday. I could only imagine, I could only imagine, but a Gomesi that fits me as well. My friend, it turned out to be days of tailoring.
We could find it. The men on Good Morning Uganda, Baba Debatonya Moli. They were
that's
very
the word,
smart.
yes, I've had it before.
Yes.
I think I have. I could have tried my Luganda as well.
Okay.
You never know.
It's not so bad. I think you are okay. What did you say? What's the thing you said about Embazi? Hey, we were here, we tontome, engero, what?
Is that supposed to be a figure of speech, or it is actually literal?
Well, for some people, it has, in the past, it's been literal, and for some, it is a figure of speech. So I think it depends on different circumstances.
I can only imagine a guy in Bazi.
Well, it means like whoever would want to hurt you, I would hurt them back. Something like that. So, you know how like the Secret Service swear to protect the life of the president at whatever cost? So that phrase in Luganda means pretty much the same thing.
Ah, okay.
All right, so now we have news. We have a full house. We have Chantal Olive and Jerome Paul back in Studio B. And right here in Studio A is myself and Chirabo Robert Nyonyintono. And what do? Right now, we take you through the news that we have been able to gather over the last 24 hours.
And we'll begin with the prayers that were held to mark 31 years of coronation of Kabaka Ronald Muwenda Mutebi, where Uganda commemorated Kabaka Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II 31st coronation anniversary since was enthroned on the 31st of July 1993. Unlike the previous years, this year's anniversary had been celebrated by prayers at Namirembe Cathedral. Kabaka addressed the gathering through Zoom from Kinoni Palace in Masaka district. People subjects to the king, and also so much was said. By 7 a.m., Namirembe Hill had covered up by the people and different dignitaries attended the service for the function. Towards 10 a.m., the procession of the clergy, led by the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, Dr. Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, sang praises to the Lord for preserving the life of the Kabaka. There was a moment of prayer upon reaching this day and more days. His Majesty the Kabaka addressed subjects through Zoom from Kinoni Palace in Masaka. He advised the public to remain calm, still following medical guidelines of not being in public since he is not very well. He cautioned self-seekers that pretend to love the kingdom more than others. The Katikiro Charles Peter Maiga, addressing the gathering, warned people that seek to weaken Buganda, that will not work and he will not give them a chance. He encouraged and called upon unity for Buganda and the people at large. The Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Anabanja, represented by the Minister for Kampala, Hajat Misa Kabanda, commended the Katikiro for enduring the challenges when the Kabaka was out of the country. The Nabagereka, Prince Semakokiro, David Wasajja, ministers from both Mengo and central government, politicians from opposition and government, and other people attended the prayers.
Now, in other matters, the Joint Parliamentary Committee on Health and Trade has poked holes in the submissions by the Uganda Police Force concerning the Alcoholic Drinks Control Bill 2023. The members of parliament cite that the security officials presented speculated facts and statistics justifying the damages incurred from alcohol, hence holding no grounds. In the same engagement, police decried inadequate capacity of implementing the proposed new legislation if it is successful. The Alcoholic Drinks Control Bill 2023 was introduced by Toro Woman Member of Parliament Sarah Opende to further regulate the consumption of alcohol in Uganda. In its last days of the committee stage, the proposed Alcoholic Drinks Control Bill 2023 has advanced its course for existence. Uganda Police Force has joined other stakeholders in adding their opinions in the new intended legislation. The bill is being handled by both the Parliamentary Committees of Health and Trade. A prominent clause in the bill is to regulate the time of sale and consumption of alcohol. The committee asked the security officials how the force is ready to implement this element. Although the officers note that the abuse of alcohol has greatly contributed to high cases of domestic violence, traffic offences and other crimes in Uganda, the members of parliament wanted to understand the statistics guiding their explanations. Police encouraged the sale of alcohol to be dominated by supermarkets than bars to ensure more use of alcohol from home settings. But to implement the proposed new legislation, the officers decry inadequate manpower. However, the officials interested the committee on how the force is implementing on putting up sub-county police models for support and increase in numbers. Concerning enforcement on the bill, police cite how this needs collaborative efforts and it will work with other agencies to make sure enforcements are put in place.
And moving on, the Minister of State for ICT and National Guidance, Godfrey Kabyanga, has informed the public that the development of the standard gauge railway is on the right track and work will commence as soon as the financing agreements are sorted. He said this during a presser on cabinet decision at the Media Center in Kampala. Minister of State for ICT and National Guidance, Godfrey Kabiyanga, updated the public about the progress of the standard gauge railway, which is in its advanced stages, citing its objectivity, which is, among others, promoting economic growth. Engineer Perezi Wamburu, coordinator for Ministry of Works, said the gauge railway has to go through stages to ensure construction commencement. Kabiyanga said that 50% of acquiring the land has been done and people found on the railway route are being compensated with strict measures. In 2013, the government of Uganda agreed with the government of Kenya to advance from the meter railway to a standard gauge railway in order to enhance transport.
And away from that, several motorcycles impounded by traffic police remain stuck at various police stations, with their owners allegedly violating traffic and road guidelines, including lacking proper licenses. Despite this, motorcycle owners, including those in the border business, as well as corporate and private individuals, have frequently complained about the high fees required to obtain these permits. In response, the Ministry of Works and Transport has announced revised fees for motorcycle licenses, reducing them as below. Charges in fee structures, the new charges in fee structures are as below. Initial license fees from 60,000 to 40,000 Uganda shillings. Annual license fees from 135,000 to 100,000 shillings. 3-year license fees from 230 Uganda shillings to 140,000 Uganda shillings. 5-year license fees from 330 Uganda shillings to 250 Uganda shillings. And for replacements, the fee has been reduced from 120,000 to 60,000 Uganda shillings, whereas upgrading from a particular class now costs 140,000 shillings, down from the initial 60,000 shillings. And according to the Minister Byamukama, these revisions aim to improve adherence to traffic rules and minimize road emergencies such as accidents. Additionally, Minister Byamukama confirmed the introduction of a new law requiring garage owners to register their garages to ensure high-quality mechanical work and prevent accidents. Although this regulation was launched last year, only 210 garages have been registered nationwide. The minister urged motorcyclists and garage owners to comply with the new law. I think that's a walk in the right direction when it comes to reducing the fees.
When are they starting?
They didn't indicate, but we'll find out and we will be updating you, dear viewer. Now we'll go to Studio B, where Chantal is ready to take us on to the international scene.
Well, Iran has threatened harsh punishment for Israel, which it says was responsible for assassinating Hamas's leader on Wednesday. Now, Israel has not commented directly on the strike which killed Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran early on Wednesday. However, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said his country had delivered crushing blows to its enemies in recent days, including the killing of a senior Hezbollah commander in Lebanon hours after the Tehran strike. He warned Israelis that challenging days lie ahead as fears of a wider conflict in the Middle East grows. Since the strike in Beirut, there are threats surrounding from all directions, he told a televised address. We are prepared for any scenario and we will stand united and determined against any threat, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned against a dangerous escalation of hostilities in the region. The UN Security Council was due to meet on Wednesday evening to discuss the situation. Is she black or Indian? Donald Trump has questioned Kamala Harris's racial identity during a heated exchange at a convention for black journalists. Trump falsely claimed the vice president and presumptive Democratic nominee had only emphasized her Asian American heritage until recently when he claimed she became a black person. I did not know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black, he said in the National Association of Black Journalists Convention in Chicago yesterday. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black? Ms. Harris said Trump's remarks were the same old show of divisiveness and disrespect. The American people deserve better, she told a meeting of the historically black sorority Sigma Gamma Rho in Houston. We deserve a leader who understands that our differences do not divide us. They are an essential source of our strength. Ms. Harris is the first black and Asian American vice president with Indian and Jamaican-born parents. She attended Howard University, a historically black university, and joined the predominantly black Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. She became a member of Congressional Black Caucus after entering the Senate in 2017. Now back to Africa, a court in Guinea has sentenced former military ruler Musa Dadis Camara to 20 years in prison for crimes against humanity. The charges stemmed from one of the worst massacres in the nation's history, the killing of more than 156 people after troops opened fire at a rally held in September 2009 to demand a return civilian rule. Camara took power in a coup when longtime President Lansana Conte died in 2008, but he fled the country after surviving an assassination attempt not long after the massacre. He returned from exile in Burkina Faso in September 2022 to face justice, insisting that he was innocent. Camara was convicted along with 7 of his military commanders, while 4 others were acquitted. The massacre took place when tens of thousands of people had packed a stadium in the capital, Conakry, to press him not to stand in a presidential election. Many were shot, stabbed, beaten, or crushed in a stampede as security forces fired tear gas and charged into the stadium. And that leads us to the end of our international stories this morning.
Chantal, now Joram, what do you have for us in the press review?
Well, coming in from the press review, the New Vision is preparing us for the 2026 polls. The new roadmap is out, and elective positions are to increase to 140,043 according to the Electoral Commission. Then also contracts, 15% of jobs ring-fenced for youth and women. Those are more details that you can find in the New Vision. Also, robbers target factories and they are also daring the police. As CDF meets Chinese defense attaché, find more of that in the New Vision. Then there's a pictorial of the 31 years of Kabaka's reign. The front page you can see the Prince Semakokiro, the Prime Minister, or the Katikiro of Buganda, as well as the Nabagireka of Buganda Kingdom, and the cake that was served during the 31st coronation anniversary. And then culture, why Wagisu circumcise the dead. Find details about that report in New Vision. Then also the Daily Monitor, strike deadlock. Traders, government fail to agree on issues. Then minister reads the Riot Act to traders. Traders count losses on day of action. A trip back to the traders' grievances. All of that is a breakdown in the Daily Monitor today. Now, IGG stands in the way of another 316 million shillings award for the Uganda Investment Authority. As anniversary, it's a royal affair as Kabaka marks 31 on the 31st. Find details in the Daily Monitor. Then Daily Monitor also gives you a news feature. Archbishop Odama leaves a trail of peace advocacy as he walks into retirement. Then how to diet your way out of stomach ulcers is an interesting and a healthy report on that regard. Then entry of Turkish farm boosts hope for SGR project. That is another report in Daily Monitor. Also in DM today, matters motoring. The 2024 Land Cruiser Prado, durable and reliable. For those who are interested in vehicles or buying yourself a new car, then there's a huge recommendation for you in today's Daily Monitor. Off to Kenya, the Daily Nation is highlighting the 4 pilots who saved Moi's rule. Court attempt on eve of deadly mutiny, President Moi faced security scare at a state event. Find out more of the 4 pilots who saved his life as he was likely to end it. Then read about the untold secrets on the 43rd anniversary of the abortive August 1st, 1982 coup, as the Daily Nation traces 4 Kenyan Army helicopter gunship pilots who had a frontline role in suppressing the rebellion mounted by junior Air Force servicemen. There is a timeline of everything that occurred in that 1982 abortive coup in Kenya. Then new standoff over IEBC selection team. Then also no housing levy reprieve as court quashes 2023 tax law. Then lastly, from our press review is the Citizen newspaper from Tanzania. Path to unlocking $5.5 billion in unrealized export potential. There is a 5-year export update and trade analysis which has pinpointed the reasons behind Tanzania's failure to supply various international markets with agriculture produce, mineral products and manufactured goods, while also suggesting the potential solutions. Now, Naomi details fight to stamp out malaria scourge in Tanzania. Then supplement the milestone, Tanzania's investment growth under current government is something that you can find out in today's Citizen. Then the joy and agony of SGR services in Tanzania. Also, government out to trim health workers job market gap. The given figure here is 5,418. That is of the degree level graduates recorded in 2023, and it increased by 1,000 compared to the 4,373 that had been registered in 2020. And that does it for our press review this morning.
Now, back from the press review, before we take a short break, I would like to share 2 quotes with you this morning. And one says that no one knows what they're doing, not even the ones with degrees, big job titles, or the people on your vision board. Everybody is just trying loudly, failing loudly, and trying again, and so should you. So in this new month, try to do it all loudly, fail loudly, and still do it again. And the other quote is, instead of focusing so much on a to-do list, start a to-be list. Things you want to be. Be calm, loving, healthy, awesome, happy, whatever it is you want to be. Why not focus on that? Those are some of the inspirational quotes we've been able to share with you this morning. But now we take a short break and leave you with Abba Chikikita.
Live.
Welcome to Good Morning Uganda with me, Olive Monica Najima, and in a special way, welcome to the new month of August 2024. Today is the first day of August 2024, so we have another 29 days to see what August has for us. Now, also in a special way, I welcome the Baganda back from the festivities of yesterday, where we had a Thanksgiving ceremony at Namirembe Cathedral, where we're celebrating 31 years of His Majesty Ronald Muwenda Mutebi Chimera II, as he's been reigning on the throne in Buganda as our king. So for whoever that was following attentively, and for everyone that made it to the cathedral, we welcome you back from those festivities. And once again, we say long live the king. Awangale I Sabasajja. Here at UBC, we had a special event. If you missed it, we had a special broadcast. And if you missed it, you can find it on our YouTube channel. That is UBC on YouTube. And you will be able to follow what happened yesterday, because we were bringing you live updates from the cathedral. Also, among the events that happened yesterday was me being extremely shocked. Forward, I was extremely shocked by how smooth and fluent Sonko sounded in his Luganda. I know he speaks Luganda, but you know, it's one thing to speak Luganda in just normal conversation, and it's another thing to actually go out there and broadcast in the language. So for me, my man of the week is Jerome Paul Sonko. Good morning, Jerome.
Good morning to you and good morning to our dear viewer. A happy new month of August. I was with the same energy, proud of myself for executing the work yesterday in Uganda.
Yes.
Just like you've said, it's a different kind of art, if I'm to use it in that way, for you to broadcast in your local language. More so if at all you've not been used to broadcasting in the same.
Yes.
And even when you look at the breakdown of the newsroom, you get to realize that there is a breakdown of the English-speaking journalists and then the Luganda-speaking journalists.
Yes.
Same applies to other countries where there are those, for example, within East Africa, those that are majorly into Kiswahili, and the others are in English reporting.
That's right.
You know, it's not an easy thing. However much you can be fluent when it comes to speaking the language, but then presenting in the language is another hustle of its own. But yesterday was a fruitful day, and the Buganda culture was fully represented by those who made their way to Namirembe Cathedral, and then also the fact that many of the grandchildren of Buganda Kingdom were fully behind the King's coronation anniversary, or the 31st King's coronation anniversary, with which we also saw the king be able to address his subjects, though he was not physically present at the venue, but at least with a clip that was recorded and shared with his subjects. It is something that gave many of the people of Buganda, or the Baganda, joy to know that their king is well and moving better.
Well, the king is well, and we say Mwali, Kabaka Mwali. And also the other person I would like to give his flowers is the Katikiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Maiga, because he's been battling with so much, especially since the Kabaka took ill. There have been many things being said on social media, and you know, most of them have been detrimental to his position as Katikiro of Uganda, but also to the kingdom. So I love that he was able to, first of all, give us this Thanksgiving ceremony, but also that the king is back home. And in as much as he's not fully well, at least we know that he's getting better. And I think Robert would agree with me on that. Hello, Robert.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very, very fine, and I hope our viewers over what happened yesterday when I saw the Baganda gather and well-wishers of Uganda Kingdom, and because we had even representatives from other kingdoms that were at the cathedral. Now, the message was very clear that we should learn how to manage these lips when we go on social media. The particular was clear. The Kabaka himself, in a televised speech.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, thank you for sticking with us. It's time for our newsreel. It's 6 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock on this first day of August 2024. I'm Olive Monica Najuma, and right next to me is Chirabo Robert Nyonyintono. Now in Studio B, I have Chantal Olive Akandinda and Jerome Paul Sonko. Now the question of alcohol control has been pivotal in many debates in Parliament and among different spheres in Uganda by Ugandans. Some are for alcohol to be controlled in the country, especially the sale and the hours. Others are let business flourish at whatever cost and whenever and however they would like to run. Now, in a new development, Parliament has poked holes into the Alcohol Control Bill 2023. they are questioning Uganda police's statistics and the background of this bill. So they are asking, are you sure we need to do this? We need to have an alcohol control bill. Uganda police, on the other hand, is rallying for, first of all, for the existence of the bill, and also they're rallying for alcohol to be sold mainly in supermarkets, so that we now encourage home consumption of alcohol vis-a-vis going to the bars. But there are problems there, because even when you speak to civil society organizations, they will tell you, especially those geared towards mental health, they will tell you that this is chaotic and there are issues with the move to want alcohol to be consumed mainly at home. But we will look into this conversation, explore the do's and don'ts, the pros and cons with the three members of the team, that is Joram Paul, Chantal, and Robert Chirabo. And starting with you, Chirabo, Robert, one would wonder, we've been taking alcohol for years, okay? And we also know that alcohol is one of the major taxpayer in the country, or alcohol companies, breweries. They are some of the biggest taxpayers in this country. And of course, many are starting liquor stores, bars, and we know how these businesses really flourish, especially when they're new, before Ugandans move on to the next one. So the biggest question here is, what were the contributing factors? What made Uganda police, or even Parliament, Minister, sorry, she's no longer Minister, but what made Sarah Opendi to even consider presenting the alcohol control bill on the floor of Parliament?
Now, thank you so much. You've talked about how we've had alcohol here for a very long time. Now, the biggest problem here is abuse and misuse of alcohol. That at this time, there is so much abuse and misuse of alcohol compared to maybe 3-4 decades back. You'll agree that between me and you and our viewer, it was very obvious that the way people used to take alcohol those days, much as we could have a few, those that could abuse it, but it was well regulated. For example, it was very hard to find a young child taking alcohol. It was very hard to find a youth taking alcohol. Much as there wasn't proper regulation, but that time for taking alcohol, it was a taboo for you at 10 to be in a bar taking alcohol. Even those, because these were village bars, even those selling alcohol would go to work and open up in the evening. And I remember that very well, that you'd know a wabere dene around 5 there. That is when bars, and because of the nature and times, by midnight, first of all, the urban cities weren't that very developed. So almost everyone at 10, even those that went to drink, would be back. Or those would even sleep at that very place. Now, we are challenged today. We have about 80% of our population between the age of 18 and 35. And according to World Health Organization, we are ranking among the top most consumers of alcohol in the entire world. In Africa, we are even leading. And it is very clear that on average, a Ugandan consumes about 12.21 liters of alcohol a year. Now, this has brought a lot of dangers. When you go to our National Mental Referral Hospital, Utabika, they will tell you that previously they would have people who either have mental illness related to diseases or situation like stress, but now they will tell you that the highest percentage of the patients they're having are result of alcoholism and drug abuse, substance abuse. Now, when you go to traffic, their statistics maybe were not well organized according to members of parliament. But when they tell you how many accidents we've had due to drunken driving, because sometimes it's not the drunk person that is involved in the accident. You believe that most times you who is trying to save the drunko, you're the one who is going to hit someone or your car to overturn. And that time you will reach home safely. And brag, for me when I drink, I drive very well. Yesterday I drank, but I was home. So the many accidents let's look at families, broken families, domestic violence due to alcoholism. How many children have not gone to school and they'll tell you, for me, my father decided to drink alcohol. And he became useless. How, today, even women, I've heard men who say that I couldn't stand her anymore.
Because of her drinking.
Because of her drinking. How many have been raped? Because she's vulnerable. So when we talk about the dangers alcohol has put on this nation, vis-a-vis, we can no longer stand and say, let's look at revenue. We are losing an entire generation. Go to our schools. I remember as it last year in Arua, there is a gene called City 5. We lost 15 people. Because now we're having people who are having even illicit alcohol.
That's right.
That which is not on stand. So Honorable, with this private members bill, one, to regulate that time. That for sure, how are you going to be productive? When that time people are in their gardens, in their farms, in offices, for you, you're in a bad drinking. So let's regulate that time. Two, the adverts and this promotion. You know, all these seem so sweet that when you take alcohol, you watch a chirabo on TV strip and say, then shakes and has a lot of power.
They normally have a man with a voice that is deeper than Sonko's voice.
Yes. And
talking about how it's been brewed for many years. And then there is a way the bottle looks. And basically, everything is inviting you in. So let's regulate that. But also, let's look at the standards. So we needed, given the challenges that alcohol was posing on our lives, we can't lose today as we are speaking. This generation called X, a large percentage of it has been wasted. Lose annually due to alcohol abuse or substance abuse?
Well, I may not have the right statistics, but at least not less than, if you have to look at the youth population we have, at least not less than 5% annually are lost due to alcohol.
And that's quite a large number. Now, we are having a conversation regarding the proposed alcohol control bill. If implemented into law, there are aspects members of parliament are questioning. And that's why we are exploring this conversation to share our views regarding the same, but also you can share your views regarding the same on WhatsApp number 0709-602-592. Now, Joram, Chirabo has been good on the side of what contributed to the proposal to a woman member of parliament, Sarah Opendi's decision to present a private member's bill of the alcoholic control bill. Now, in as much as we've seen the dangers alcohol poses towards Ugandans, let's look at this bill in its entirety. First of all, its aims and also the clauses or some of basically the clauses that have been given in this bill, and whether or not they will be able to regulate alcohol abuse in Uganda.
Well, let me first get into the figures of the number of deaths that we receive due to alcohol. These numbers are varying, but according to the figures that are coming in from the World Health Organization, from the Ministry of Health, you get to realize that alcohol is also a great contributor to the numbers. However varying they are, there was a report by the BMC in 2020 which had revealed that 4.3% of the death in the country had been caused due to alcohol misuse, meaning the deaths were increasing. And then when you also look at some of the cases that are being reported, also many of these cases are not fully documented, but at least some of the cases that that had been or that are moving around or that are being reported by the police clearly have a way they are connected to alcohol misuse. Now, looking into some of the provisions within the law, or rather within the proposed bill, that seeks to at least regulate, because it seeks to regulate the manufacturing and selling of alcoholic drinks to a specific group of people and specific hours. Now, one of the provisions within the bill is regulating the time of sale. Now, according to to what was tabled, is that this if the bill becomes law, then there would be a regulated time of selling alcohol. Which time? That during weekdays or weekly days, that is Monday to Friday, when we are here, we can only be able to buy, or a viewer can only be able to buy alcohol, that is from 5 p.m. to 1 p.m., rather to 1 a.m. So that means after that time, you are not supposed to be seen anywhere consuming alcohol. Now, during public holidays and weekends, alcohol sale should be starting from midday to 10 p.m. So the stretch for the weekends is from midday. But during weekly days, the entire day is not supposed to be a day for drinking. You can only be drinking at 5. And when you look at most of the working hours in Uganda, it is normally from 8 to 5 or 7:30 to 5 p.m. So meaning they're trying to regulate the time when those who are in working spaces consume the alcohol. Now, they are also within the same provisions. You get to realize that there is also a penalty in case someone does not follow this kind of regulation. Now, for this instance, if at all you're caught selling alcohol past the hours that have been placed, you are likely to face 10 years in prison, and then a 20 million shillings fine. And there is also a situation where you can actually face both a penalty of 20 million Ugandan shillings and 10-year imprisonment. Now, there is also a prohibition of sale to persons under 18 years. Now, of course, we all do know that in Uganda, you can only be recognized as an adult if you're 18 years and above. However much there are other discussions where some people feel the age bracket needs also, rather the age gap needs also increase. Now, this one is aiming at ensuring that the minors do not easily access alcohol. Now, for a person who sells alcohol to a minor, you are likely to face 40 million and imprisonment of up to 3 years or both. That is paying a fine of 40 million and then 3 years of imprisonment for selling alcohol to a minor or someone who's recognized as a minor in Uganda. Now, there is also regulation of packaging. Now, this is where most of the drama comes in, because when you look at the alcohol consumption in Uganda, many people consume alcohol in plastic bottles, and then others actually consume them in polythene, something that the small caveras, something that the government has always been fighting.
Yes.
And within the same bill, this is also a provision that is being discussed, meaning that if at all you're caught selling it and also selling alcohol or manufacturing alcohol that does not exceed 500 milliliters, then you are doomed. Then that means you are also to be penalized. Now, looking at also the regulation of advertisement. Now, of course, you've mentioned something to do with how enticing these adverts are, especially when it comes to alcohol sale. Now, in the provisions, when you look at the advertisement bit of it, you are not supposed to advertise alcohol on public holidays and weekends. So they are prohibiting, because they know these are days where people are supposed to be resting and doing constructive things. That
so
can
when are
also,
they supposed to drink the alcohol?
And then there is also prohibiting the advertisement of alcohol near educational institutions.
Like on billboards?
Like on billboards or flyers, kind of also, we also have these kind of driveways of different promotions of alcohol brands that pass through neighborhoods and pass through school. Many of these entice the young ones to try out alcohol. So these are some of the provisions in there. And then there is also a regulation on public consumption, where you're prohibited from consuming alcohol in public spaces or while driving.
Okay, that's correct. Anyway, Jerome, thank you so much for sharing some of the clauses that are in the Alcoholic Control Bill 2023. But now I would like to go to Chantal. In as much as we are trying to regulate alcoholic consumption in the country, when I listen to some of the clauses Jerome has shared that are in the bill, I feel like some of them are a bit extensive and others make so much sense. Personally, if you ask me, the part of regulating consumption by minors, we are lacking on that as a country, because in other nations, you cannot consume alcohol until you're 21, and in many places, they will not sell alcohol to a minor. This is different in Uganda, because even as a parent, you can send your child to go buy you a bottle of wine or what, and no one will even question this teenager or preteen as to why they're buying alcohol. The assumption is that it is for an adult, but we don't know. It could be for the minor. But now looking at all this, Chantal, what are the facts of the matter? Members of Parliament poked holes into this bill, especially when it comes to some of the defenses Uganda Police Force was presenting. And also, do you feel in your own perspective that the bill is practical?
Well, first of all, Olive, the MPs and the members of parliament are poking holes in the submission by the police.
Yes.
Because the police claims that it might be hard to implement this bill once it is put into law. And apparently, some of the factors being stated are that Uganda police does not have enough manpower. But before we even get to the part of having enough manpower, Uganda police also, according to the statistics provided, the MPs feel and think that some of the information provided, especially to beef up this bill, was on the case of it was all on speculation, and this does not give clear information that might one, enable the MPs make a decision, but also it does not help the police force to be able to do their role. So in this case, you'll find that Uganda police is telling you, listen, we don't have enough manpower to put this bill, if once put into law, to implement it. And partly you will understand what they are saying, because if you are to check, and if you're to check and see how many police officers do we have, and this is just in general, without saying this is traffic police, without saying military police or anything, you will realize that we have about I'm trying to get my statistics properly here before I lie to you. When you check
You usually lie.
when you check on the statistics, you realize that the police force is about slightly over 52,000 officers. And please do note that as of this was last year, that was around December, over 2,000 officers were referred to as desertees, or they deserted. That was as of last year, December. Over 2,000 deserted. Also, do note that as we talk about the ones that have deserted, we also have about 695 or slightly over of Uganda police who are unverified. So Uganda police is telling you...
What does unverified mean? They are in the force but not verified?
They, I don't know how to put it, but according to the report that was released by police, it says according to the payroll audit by the Auditor General, these personnel were unverified, and commanders were required to access the list of these affected personnel on the website and make sure that they are verified. So, for example, I think this is the part where you went for training and you are still hanging in balance after the training. Did you go through the training? Did you not go through? Which department are you going to go to? Are you military police, traffic police, any other department that you're supposed to be going to? And now this is about 695. So you don't know whether you're going to work with them or not. You don't know where to place them and where not to in this case. So police now is saying, listen, we do not have the right manpower or the high amount or the amount of manpower we need for us to be able to execute this bill that is being tabled and put in place. Whereas the MPs are saying, no, first of all, the statistics you're giving us on even the causes that are leading to this bill are just speculations. We need the right information, but also, how do you say that as police you are unable to implement once this bill is put into law? And those are some of the questions that the MPs have towards the concerns put forward by the Uganda police.
Oh, thank you. And to add to what you have been sharing, we have, yes, 52,000. This is according to a 2021 report. We have 52,000 police officers against, by then it was against a population of about 42 million Ugandans. And what this meant was that we had a ratio of 1 to 832 as compared to 2020, where the ratio was 1 to 893. So what that means is that there is one police officer for every 800 and over
individuals.
Ugandans, yes. So when you look at
and we don't need to also underestimate the fact that even the officers themselves do take the alcohol.
Oh, there is that too. So Chantal, I did ask you a question. Do you find some of the provisions of the bill practical, or they just look good on paper?
I will say that some of these really look good on paper, but when you come to when it comes to implementation, you find that if you're trying to control how much alcohol is being taken, that might be hard. I saw at some point as well, police was advocating for people buying and taking from their homes. Are we controlling how much alcohol is being consumed within a particular period of time, or in general, how much alcohol is being consumed? Because listen, if you are telling me that by midnight bars should be closed, I might as well go drink from home.
Okay, and Chantal, now this question goes to all of you three, and your answers will be our parting shots. When police advocates for alcohol consumption at home, are we or are we not deliberately actually now teaching people, even young ones at home, that alcohol consumption is okay? And will we be able, borrowing from what you've been actually asking, shall we be able to regulate how much alcohol is consumed by an individual, especially now that they're taking it from home, or we will actually be creating another problem on our hands? I'll start with Jerome, yes.
It has two sides of the coin. One is you're going to be regulating it fully. Not fully, I should say. Are you
regulating
One, you're putting it in the hands of the parent. Now, the parents have to play a very serious role to ensure that their children do not become alcoholics or addicted in any way. And when it comes to the regulation, I think one of the provisions that can easily be worked on firsthand is working on the manufacturing of alcohol and selling it in, let's say, buveras and plastic bottles. That one we can work around it, because with the bodies around, we can easily work on that. And then also selling or manufacturing of alcohol that is not exceeding, or that is below 500 milliliters. Now, that is a provision that can really be worked on if at all our authorities are on the same page with the people who are putting this bill forward.
Thank you, Jerome. Now, Chantal.
Well, I would say that the regulation, to be honest, cannot be put on where we drink from and where we do not drink from at what time. That is not practical, because you do not know how many people abuse alcohol. Even some of the individuals that are now part of this conversation. It's only because maybe they're not caught on camera or
maybe
anything.
They're speaking
it
out
goes
of
back down to our families. Like you said earlier on, do you know that in some parts of the world, if you are below 18, you should not be seen anywhere close to a bottle of alcohol. It comes from how strict the parents are to how strict the law is. And that is how
our parents send us alcohol.
Their parents who send kids to buy alcohol, their parents who consume the alcohol with their children.
And now police is advocating for alcohol to be taken at home. And that's the question I've been asking now.
And that is the issue that is part of the bill, because if you're saying we're closing by midnight, people are going to carry the alcohol home. And what is going to happen? The kids will find it somewhere and also drink it. So we may not be solving something at this point.
So Chirabo, thank you, Chantal. Now Chirabo, coming to you as your parting shots. If we advocate for alcohol to be consumed at home, are we or are we not creating a problem?
Well, since this is my parting shot, for me, I will not romance the devil. We know alcohol is a source of so much evil, and the truth is it has done us so much evil. Much as we can't stop them from taking it, let's not compromise on grounds of money. We cannot lose an entire generation because of finances. We need a regulation, either not being taken home or taken home, but we need a regulation.
You see, why I'm asking this question is you will regulate time and place of selling alcohol. But now if you advocate that I should take it at home, and you are saying, going back to what you've shared with us, that alcohol is a root cause of all evil, and now it is being taken at home by parents. Chantal did mention that some parents share it with their children. Are you really regulating the consumption of alcohol, or you're creating a further problem?
No, you're not creating a further problem. Why? Now, we believe when you take alcohol home, in a normal setting, parents are usually responsible. If the husband is not, the wife will be. And we know many homes where even alcohol is in the fridges and children are not taking it. Why they are saying leave the bars? The reason is when you open bars as early as possible, at home, you know, many people don't want to do things before their children and before their spouses. How are you going to open a bottle of alcohol and start sit at home at 10 and start taking alcohol?
But that's what you're telling them to do.
That many people return when they are drunk.
Well,
so home is very tough. Morally, it's very hard for a person to drink silly themselves while at home.
Well, that is Chirabo's parting shot. If people take the alcohol from home, they will not drink themselves silly. And that's where we will end our conversation. But I'll leave you with a question to maybe ponder on. Is this bill practical? Do we need it or not? I would like for you to share your views on our X platform, and our hashtag is UBCGMU. I'm Olive, and Good Morning Uganda does continue.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by. You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you the tragic story of the mighty empire of Bunyoro Kitara. Enjoy the story of Africa's mighty warrior Omkama Kabalega in Tuko Pamoja Bunyoro segment.
Bunyoro would have simply created an East African community that we are looking for today.
When the Bachweze weekend that we see the emergence of all these other kingdoms that were under Bunyoro Kingdom. That's Buganda, Bunyoro, Karagwe, Rwanda, Burundi, Nkore.
We are similar people. And genetically, we are even the same people.
Use that word, pamoja.
Kagadi at URDT Institute on Friday, 2nd August. Hoima Resort Hotel on Saturday, 3rd August. Masindi at Vija Hotel on Sunday, 4th August 2024. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko pamoja?
Juko. Yo. Hawachiko. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Joko, I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. But what you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Thank you so much for sticking around and keeping it Good Morning Uganda this early morning. I hope you're having a very good morning today. My name is Irene Alena Misang, and this is the GMU Tourism Express. That only time that the country has committed to making sure that you have all the information that concerns Uganda's tourism, from the travel news, from the trends, accommodation, attractions, where to stay, destinations, anything that you need to know about Uganda's tourism. This is the perfect time for you to always tune in so that you get to know what is happening in the world of travel in Uganda and East Africa at large. Well, this week we have been digging deeper into content creation, because in this era where digital content is king, so many people, so many young people are coming up to create more content, enticing content that is promoting the country, and people are doing this passionately. But the question could be, in this era where we have a whole sea of content, online content, how can one stand out to target or to appeal to a specific audience? I think that is niche marketing, making sure that someone has a niche, an audience that they are targeting, to make sure that they reach their interests, they reach their expectations and desires. So niche targeting or niche marketing in content creation, currently it is very key, so that you stand out in a whole sea of content that is online right now. And with me in the studios today, I'm with one of the tourism content creators that has created her niche to be sunsets. She goes by the names of Daphne Nahwera, but she trades as the sunset traveler. So she has created a niche for sunsets, and we are going to dig deeper into niche marketing with her to tell us why should someone really go into niche marketing when creating tourism content. Daphne, we are very glad to have you here.
Thank you very much, Ellen.
How is tourism, how is the industry treating you currently?
The industry, amazing, really. So far, I'm enjoying it because I am in travel, and trust me, I think most people think I am one person that really enjoys my work, and because I earn a living from it, I do enjoy my work, especially since it involves telling people about Uganda. Yes, I've fallen in love with this country, so I do really enjoy my work.
Oh, well, that is nice.
Yeah.
Daphne, I love the fact that you have specialized in sunset photos, sunset content, and you even have a name, that Sunset Traveler. That is how you're putting up your content.
Yes.
We need to understand, Daphne, why is it important? Or why even did you choose to go for niche targeting in content creation?
Well, my understanding of niche targeting is you choose a specific audience and you choose a specific product to give that audience. And I think the most important part is to actually find out and make research about your audience and see if they're actually going to be interested in what you are putting out, the kind of content that you're putting out there. And also that content must be serving you, serving your values and serving your passion, so that it's very easy for you to work around the content, develop your product very well. And that is how I entered into marketing accommodation places in Uganda, because it's easier for me to attach sunsets to these places, to beautify them. And we have lots of countries like Paris, like France and Italy, focusing on sunsets, and they're actually making money from these sunsets. And Uganda, we have the most amazing sunsets in the world, and I felt like it was such a forgotten product, you know. And I feel like if we actually package, as tour operators, if we package Sundowners, we would create a very, very, very strong impact and on our clients.
Definitely, yes. Now, okay, for you, you chose sunset.
Yes.
Why would someone else go for wildlife? Why would someone go for maybe adventure?
Yes.
Or go for, why would someone have a niche targeting when creating this content?
I think when it comes to tourism content, we must all understand that Uganda is still virgin when it comes to tourism content.
Sure.
And it's very important that as a person who is trying to become a niche marketer in tourism content, you must first of all do research on what you are selling and what the content you're trying to create. See if if there are gaps in the market, if maybe it's wildlife. For example, we don't have a lot of wildlife content out there, or most of it is actually watermarked, and we both know watermarked content doesn't move as much. It's because people don't have the resources to actually create content that they can just give out for free, you know. Well, that's always the thought. So if you're able to, it's still a virgin place, and it's important for you to first understand what kind of demographic are you creating this content for. Follow the trends, be up to date about what are the developments in this kind of content that I'm trying to create. Are the people that I'm creating this content going to like it? And then you also make research on how you can actually deliver the best content, or what platforms that you feel like you're going to thrive. It's important to use all of them, but it's also important to know which platform is actually going to make me put out my message the best way possible. And after doing all that, then you decide, I'm going to do wildlife, I'm going to do sunsets, I'm going to do luxury travel, I'm going to do adventure. But either way, you also must have the right amount of equipment to do that kind of work. But either way, whatever you feel like do, if you ever want to try content marketing, just start. What happens is that sometimes you will develop a niche, like along the way, you realize, okay, you can try out adventure, luxury travel, and maybe you say luxury travel is getting too expensive, considering it's, you know, content creation is not yet as very popular in Uganda as possible. So some people might not understand your product, and so it can be expensive.
And also, why is it important that someone should really keep up? You said that someone should keep up with the trends when doing this niche marketing or targeting in content creation. Why is it important that someone should keep up with the trends and someone should keep up being knowledgeable about the product they're selling out?
Yes, because the world is changing. How we used to market before COVID is not the same way we're marketing now. And it's very important for us to know that with these changes, if you don't grow, the world is leaving you. We are now using AI to do absolutely everything, to even create, you know. And so if you are not willing to understand the trends and the dynamics of the changes in the marketing world and content creation, you would not know the right equipment to use.
That's
for example.
a quick one, keeping up with the trends and also being knowledgeable with your audience and the product that you're putting out. We've always known you for sunsets, taking very nice sunset photos, and then you come up with a photo of a market. It shocked the whole audience. We are used to you seeing you taking photos of sunset, and then you come up with a photo of the market. Why did you take that photo? It trended, by the way, Nigeria, Kenya.
It did. I think, like I said earlier, for a content creator, you must be willing to take out your phone or take out your camera or whatever at any time possible. And I think for me, that market, as much as it trended, it gave me a certain level of satisfaction, being able to see people proud of Uganda, you know, and everyone that would go to these famous bloggers from Nigeria and Kenya and all over the continent to defend Uganda, to say this is a Ugandan market, this is a Ugandan market. It gave me that kind of confidence, you know, in my country. And I felt like, for me, the Kabale market, as much as it fetched such a huge amount of views, it was proof to me that we can always put out our best foot forward. Post anything good about your country. I'm very sure someone will see it.
Yeah, Daphne, the conversation is really interesting that I would want to go on and on. Just briefly, what challenge have you faced and how can we overcome it?
Well, content creation in Uganda, first of all, as much as very many people are coming up in content creation, we must also understand that most of us are just winging this up. We don't have proper training in content creation. The skills. Some of us, maybe you're just a natural artist and you can work around colors and all that, and maybe you just have a good phone or a good camera, but we need certain training. Most people need training because we are competing with countries that actually have trainings for their content creators or programs where they can grow and give them capacity building. So as Ugandan content creators, we need to, first of all, now that we don't have those systems yet to train us to do content creation, we need to be on the lookout. We need to search the internet. We need to search the people that we are very, we look up to in content creation, for example, come to know what they are doing, how they are doing it differently. Because the biggest challenge we have is we don't, the capacity. We don't have the capacity.
On several occasions, Uganda Tourism Board has organized trainings, not even Uganda Tourism Board alone, but even other organizations have organized trainings. People show interest online, and on the day, they don't show up. Yes, they want the trainings.
Yes, so and I think one of the biggest challenges there is because sometimes people don't even know the kind of trainings they need. Because like you said, they don't have a specific niche they are working for. They don't know the kind of market that they are looking for or they are targeting. And so it is hard for them to know. Even when they go for those trainings, they don't yield because the trainings are normally general. They're not specific to their niche. And so someone feels like, this was vague, you know, because I didn't get to.
Just your last words to the viewers, aspiring content creators, what would you tell them? Your last words.
Just start, you know, just start. Whatever phone you have, whatever gadgets you have, whatever you like, even if you're not just a content creator, every Ugandan, please take a picture of Uganda and share it. Just start.
Thank you so much, Daphne, for having you. We are very glad to have had you here for this show, and I'm very sure someone has learned something from the so many words that you have said out. Even myself, I've learned something, and I will continue saying this as a Ugandan. It is our mantra. It is a mantra to all of us that we market Destination Uganda. Marketing Uganda is not a one-man feat that only content creators should come up and market the country, or Uganda Tourism Board, or Ministry of Tourism. Everyone should have something. We should all put together these small efforts and market Destination Uganda, because together we are going to earn from this, from the tourists that are going to come in. We are going to earn from the tourism sector, whether directly or indirectly. So let us take on the mantle and market Destination Uganda. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Irene Alenamisang, and Joram Paul is already here to take you through the business update.
Coming soon on UBC.
Welcome to Inside Broadcasting,
sharing with you the process behind what you see on the screens.
My name is Lorraine Masika Kazimoto.
Step behind the scenes and witness the magic that brings your daily broadcasts to life.
That's why I come out openly to actually tell you that I'm an investigative journalist, that even when you see me here, I'm actually investigating you guys. So you should be aware about that.
Experience the hustle, the heart, and the human stories of our on and off-air staff.
I see my phone ringing and I'm like, ooh, which number is this? I hear the president on the other line.
The president of the Republic of Uganda.
Of Uganda, yes.
Be inspired, amazed, and part of the journey that powers Uganda's most captivating TV and radio moments.
Because good broadcast comes down to an individual. They should be artistic.
This is Inside Broadcasting.
Inside Broadcasting.
Inside Broadcasting with Mark Wadula.
Well, good morning and thank you very much for sticking around to Good Morning Uganda. Let me take you to a ride of the business news this morning and what has been trending within the country for the past 12 hours. Now, yesterday, some of the traders within Kampala decided to close down their shops. Now, this is following a failure to meet up with the president. Remember, as earlier reported in June, the president was set to meet the traders this very month, and that meeting did not occur. Now, the meeting was intended to address the traders' concerns of IFRIS and the implementation of the same solution or the same system by the Uganda Revenue Authority, something many of the traders still have issues with. Now, the Minister for Kampala Metropolitan Affairs, Hajat Misa Kabanda, communicated the cancellation via a WhatsApp message to the business community. Now, however, this abrupt cancellation left many traders frustrated because their grievances are yet to be met. They have so many concerns and they believe not until they meet the president, their concerns may never be addressed. Now, looking into this, in response, a section of some traders under their umbrella bodies such as the Kampala City Traders Association decided to close shops yesterday. If you're well observant enough, you got to realize that there are certain sections of shops in downtown Kampala that were not open for business yesterday. However, others were open and were really making some money. Now, when you look at the situation, many of those that closed the shops urged their colleagues. Many of those who had not closed their shops had urged their colleagues to reopen so as to make some money, emphasizing the importance of maintaining business as usual and not causing any sort of business interruption. That the protest is underscoring the traders' demand for President Museveni to address their grievances. Now, the key issues, like I did mention, is the IFRIS. That has been a talk of town amongst many of the traders, saying that besides the penalties, it is making it quite difficult for many of them to stay in business. Now, besides that, the president of the Federation of Traders Association, that is John Kabanda, called for calm among the business community while they await for the response from the office of the president. Now, amidst these tensions, security agencies were heavily deployed as well and patrolling the city to maintain a calm atmosphere, anticipating any level of demonstration or protest that were highly looked at as a possibility. Now, of course, that development coming in from the traders is something that will be leading us to our agenda discussion this very morning for you, our dear viewers, so be part of it as well. Now, away from that, we now talk matters inflation, as the Uganda Bureau of Statistics has listed Kampala district as having the highest annual inflation rates of 5.4% for the year ending July 2024. Now, this is attributed to the annual food and non-alcoholic that is from July 2024, from 1.4% that was registered in the month of June 2024. Now, with this, Uganda's inflation rates for the past 1 year, June 2024, has increased to about 4.0%. As per the Consumer Price Index, an inflation report for the past 12 months to July of 2024, Uganda has seen its inflation rates rise to about 4.0% compared to the 2024, when the rates were then low at 3.9%. Now, this was triggered to the use of various services, more so as regards to passenger transport, accommodation, recreation, sports, and cultural services, among others. Sam Echuku, the principal head of Department Macroeconomics in that is at the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, revealed that this was something that has been able to be monitored in the presser that happened at the Uganda Bureau of Statistics offices in Kampala. Now, the high inflation has seen an increase in prices of tilapia, Irish potato, and cabbage, among other foods. It also reflected that Kampala high income group has the highest inflation rate at 5.4%. Now, lastly, we look at the Women Business Expo. This particular one, organized by Tassel's Farm, was held at the National Theatre with the goal of empowering women economically, socially, mentally, and developmentally in regards to seeing their businesses grow, and also enable those who are yet to be in business to probably grow in the business world. Now, export policy, recycling and renewable energy, as well as business management, are among other things that were discussed during the same expo, and then also helping the women understand the beauty and also emphasizing on the idea of partnerships, because with partnerships and creating huge networks, businesses can grow and cross-border trade can then thrive, especially when it comes to the women who are in business. Now, you get to realize that women from diverse backgrounds share their journeys, explain the reasons behind their career choices and the challenges they overcame, including those that started their journey as students right from university, and then also there were other students that were given opportunities to showcase what they have in mind in regards to career growth, and also got guidance from successful women in business. Well, that does it for our business news this morning. Now let's look at the forex market to see how different currencies have been faring on the exchange. This is courtesy of the central bank. Now, by opening time yesterday, the US dollar was buying at 3,716.36 while selling at 3,726.36. By midday, it rather dropped to about 3,716, a bit of the points to 1.8, and then selling was 3,726.18. Closing time yesterday evening, the US dollar was buying at 3,721.18 shillings while selling 3,731.18 Ugandan shillings. And the Great Britain pound
was buying at 4,778.73 shillings while selling at 4,791.58 shillings. The euro, 4,027.06 shillings while selling at 4,037.88 shillings, and the Kenyan shilling still at 28 shillings, but this time around with a few points dropped to 6.2 shillings while selling at 28.70 shillings. Now the Tanzanian shilling was buying at 1.37 shillings while selling at 1.37 shillings. And lastly, the South African rand was buying at 203.65 shillings while selling at 204.19 shillings. Now these currencies and the changes within the currencies and how they fare on the exchange are changed or do change 3 times a day. Let's courtesy of the Central Bank. Chantal Oliver Kanenda is here with the traffic updates. Later on, the agenda continues. Good morning.
Good morning once again, and thank you for staying with us. It's time for our traffic updates. Let's see how the different routes are faring for you who is headed to town now. I am at the Mulago roundabout, and the Mulago roundabout connects you to Chira Road, connects you to Yusufullah Road, connects you to Haj Musa Kasule Road, connects you to Makere Hill Road, but also connects you to Bina Isa Road. So let's see how the different routes are faring now. Chira Road is okay. There is no traffic whatsoever. As you can see, when I move backwards, you'll be finding no traffic as you're using Chira Road to connect to town. There is no traffic, and the only time you'll be finding a bit of a hold-up is when you are at the Acacia Junction or the John Babiha Junction that leads you to Acacia Avenue. You'll be finding a bit of a hold-up, but after that, there is nothing for you to worry about. And if I look at Mulago Mwanda Road is also okay at this point. You'll be finding no traffic as you're trying to make your way to town. Now, back to this side where we started from. If you are intending to join the Haj Musa Kasule 2 Road, you'll be finding a lot of traffic, especially when you are exiting the roundabout and trying to make your way to town. Now, Makere Hill Road marred with some traffic, and as you can see, as you are now connecting to the traffic lights, the Wandega traffic lights, you'll be finding traffic, and that is for you who is joining the traffic lights. But when you cut through and join Makere Hill Road, you'll be finding no traffic whatsoever. And now you who is going to town, Bombo Road has no traffic at all. As you can see, you'll be finding it easy to move all the way to town. Also, if you are still on Bombo Road coming from the side of the roundabout that takes you to Gaza Road, you'll be finding a bit of slow movement, but there's also no traffic to worry about. Bina Isa Road has a bit of traffic for you who is exiting onto Bina Isa Road, and that's where you'll be finding traffic. Dualilo Road has no traffic whatsoever. As you can see, you'll be finding it easier for you to be able to move. Yusufullah Road, as you can see, has a bit of traffic and slow movement, but generally you are okay to move because you will not be lasting too long in these different places that have holdups. Now, Yusufullah Road continues all the way. As you can see, it is going all the way until you get to the roundabout that they usually call the Garden City roundabout. You'll be finding no traffic whatsoever, but into the roundabout there is a bit of slow movement and hold ups here and there because it's a roundabout. Now, Nile Avenue has no traffic, as you can see, not like the earlier days or these past few days when we've been finding a lot of traffic and slow movement. As you can see, there is no traffic, and you're able to move all the way upwards depending on which part of town you are connecting to. If you're connecting to Speak Road, there's no traffic. Lumumba Avenue has no traffic. Tanan Avenue has no traffic. Nakasasoro Road has has no traffic. The square has no traffic whatsoever. And if you're joining Kampala Road, well, it is mad with some bit of slow movement, a bit of hold-ups here and there, but generally also you will be finding not too much traffic as you are making your way to town. Now that does it for our traffic updates this morning. Coming up is the agenda. Stay tuned.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by.
You can now voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the MyMTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Coming soon on UBC.
Welcome to Inside Broadcasting.
Sharing with you the process behind what you see on the screens.
My name is Lorene Masika Kazimoto.
Step behind the scenes and witness the magic that brings your daily broadcasts to life.
That's why I come out openly to actually tell you that I'm an investigative journalist. That even when you see me here, I'm actually investigating you guys. So you should be aware about that.
Experience the hustle, the heart, and the human stories of our on and off-air staff.
I see my phone ringing and I'm like, ooh, which number is this? I hear the president on the other line.
The president of the Republic of Uganda.
Of Uganda, yes.
Be inspired, amazed, and part of the journey that powers Uganda's most captivating TV and radio moments.
Because good broadcast comes down to an individual. They should be artistic.
This is Inside Broadcasting.
Inside Broadcasting.
Inside Broadcasting with Mark Wadulo.
Coming soon on UBC.
Juko.
Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you the tragic story of the mighty empire of Bunyoro Kitara. Enjoy the story of Africa's mighty warrior Omkama Kabalega in Tuko Pamoja Bunyoro segment.
Bunyoro would have simply created an East African community that we are looking for today.
When the Bachweze weekend that we see the emergence of all these other kingdoms that were under Bunyoro Kingdom. That's Buganda, Bunyoro, Karagwe, Rwanda, Burundi, Nkore.
We are similar people.
And genetically, we are even the same people.
Use that word pamoja.
Kagadi at URDT Institute on Friday 2nd August. Hoima Resort Hotel on Saturday 3rd August. Masindi Atibija Hotel on Sunday 4th August 2024. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko pamoja?
Hey, Uplift family. Have you ever wondered how you can tap into the power of your own energy to transform your life? Energy healing, also known as user energy practices, is an ancient holistic approach to promote physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Join us as we explore various alternative practices that harness the incredible power of user energy to promote physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Number 10 on our list is Reiki. Reiki is a Japanese technique that involves the laying on of hands to channel healing energy. Practitioners believe that this energy can help balance the body's energy and promote relaxation and overall wellness. Number 9 on our list is acupuncture. Acupuncture is a traditional Chinese medicine practice that involves inserting thin needles into specific points on the body to stimulate energy flow, qi, and promote balance within the body. Number 7 is chakra balancing. Chakras are believed to be energy centers within the body. Practitioners of energy healing work to balance and align these chakras to ensure the smooth flow of energy throughout the body. Number 6 is crystal healing. Crystals are thought to have specific energies that can influence the body's energy field. Practitioners use crystals by placing them on or around the body to promote healing, balance, and positive energy. Number 5 is Qigong. Qigong is a Chinese practice that combines movement, breath, and meditation to cultivate and balance qi, life force energy. It is often used to improve physical health and enhance spiritual well-being. Number 4 on the list is theta healing. Theta healing involves accessing the theta brainwave state to connect with the divine and make changes at the subconscious level. Practitioners believe that this technique can facilitate physical and emotional healing. Number 3 on the list is biofield therapies. Biofield therapies, including therapeutic touch and healing touch, involve practitioners using their hands to interact with the patient's energy field and promote healing. Taking the second spot is sound healing. Sound healing uses vibrations from instruments such as singing bowls, gongs, or tuning forks to resonate with the body's energy and promote relaxation and healing. Finally is aromatherapy. Aromatherapy involves using essential oils to influence mood, emotions, and overall well-being. Certain scents are believed to have specific energetic properties. It's important to note that energy healing is a complementary practice and should not replace traditional medical treatments. It can be used alongside conventional medicine to enhance overall wellness. So, why not take a step towards unlocking the power of your own energy? By embracing user energy healing practices, you can tap into a world of limitless possibilities, connect with your inner self, and experience the transformative power of these alternative approaches. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insightful content. This program is produced by Sani Production, powered by UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning.
It is time for the agenda segment. My name is Olive Monica Najuma, and right with me is Jerome Paul Sonko. Now, joining us on the phone is the spokesperson for Kasita, that is Mr. Issa Sechito. Now, the order of business today, or the point of contention that we are discussing this morning, is the traders in Kampala that have vowed to strike once again if President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni does not come out and address them using what they are referring to as valid media. It should be remembered that traders had a meeting with the president when they were protesting against the IFRIS tax collection system. And this meeting occurred at the beginning of May 2024. Now, there was supposed to be another meeting with the president in June, which was deferred. And again, there was supposed to be another meeting in July, which was again deferred. And against that background, traders have now decided to go on strike again. And as we speak, when you go to downtown Kampala, you might find some shops closed. They want the president to come out and speak to them using valid media. So I would like actually Mr. Sechito, who is online, to even explain to us what they mean by valid media. But first of all, good morning, Mr. Sechito, and welcome to Good Morning Uganda.
I liked to hear that one. Good morning, listeners.
Yes.
And good morning, my host on this program. My name is Isa Sechito, as they say. People usually call me Kasita. I'm happy that I'm speaking to you and speaking to the listeners now. The question you asked is a very outright but complicated one, because you all know, fellow Ugandans, that there has been an ongoing engagement between the business community in Uganda and the president, and that is government. Therefore, and the engagements have been surrounded by or surrounding issues of increase in small businesses, issues of manufacturers who are vending, opening shops, and they're doing every petty business out of what they produce, and they are leaving no room for local citizenry to participate in trade, and also the charging of taxes in kilos, among the many on garments and textiles, to which we have intimated to the president and given him every supporting law to suggest that this is illegal. But that is not to the point. The point of communication, we are very patient with the president, because the president has technical people, the president has the ministers, the president has every tool that can be assisting him in getting to the bottom of this matter. What went wrong was the way in which the Honorable Minister of Kampala communicated to us. On one of the groups, she sent a message through a WhatsApp voice saying that the president had suspended the meeting between the traders and himself at Kororo, because Kororo is under renovation. There is nobody disputing and doesn't want the renovation of Kororo airstrip. It is not about the president extending, because it has extended more than 2-3 times before, but the disrespectful manner in which the Honorable Minister of Kampala did this. We want to respect business people. They are part of the taxpayers' lot. We want to respect the issues deliberated and put on the table of the president. That's why we thought it should have been prudent that, whether through a written message to the Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, whether through a formal charter line of the president, or on whichever media that he always uses to us, or even going to some of the radios, a few of them, and speaking to us about the postponement of this meeting, is what we call a valid communication.
So what you're contending against the usage of a voice note on a WhatsApp group?
Not only that, not only that, this minister has been a cause of controversy since she entered into this matter.
Okay.
While things are happening, the minister excluded some people who are so pivotal and key. When we were going to meet the president in a view of extending the period of 20 years, the president called the leaders to State House. The minister, in her own capacity, started sidelining some of us who had the core issues. Not that those who went did not have them, but that's why we have speakers, that's why we have chairmen, that's why we have treasurers.
That's right.
You leave out to Mr. Godfrey Ntare for your sentiment. You leave out to Mr. Isa Sechito for your sentiment. Maybe it is a wrong forum or wrong approach to think that the Minister of Kampala, who has already said is going to contest for the Kampala electoral area, which is not a crime, is the one who single-handedly given the coordination of a very important matter that is for the nation. Taxes are not only paid in Kampala, to leave it to her. So we already have had a sentiment against the Honorable Minister's approach in this matter, and she was indeed when she used a simple SMS message and a voice through one of the groups, which groups she has created to cause havoc and the disunity among the business community by record.
Okay. Mr. Sachito, a quick one here. I would like you to let our viewer know what happened the last time you met with the president on the 7th of May.
What happened in the house? Honorable Mr. Kavanda, when the president intended to extend the meeting, called a few of us. The president told I don't know how, told her to organize the leadership and take the people so that they could agree on what next to do. The minister, through my chairperson, let me talk about the exact matter that happened for Kasita. Said we are not taking Mr. Issa Sechito, we don't want him. We put some other people because she didn't want me. Now, she also said, I also don't want Godfrey Ntare, we don't want him. That one put aside. So they went to the president. The president told them, please, you people, why don't you understand me? I want manufacturing. Why are people resisting this? He told the Tedians to come and do some research on why traders are resisting to be pushed into manufacturing. Also to compare why the milk industry has been successful, what is the case study that we can copy for the textile industry and other industries so that value addition campaign catches fire. Unfortunately, while they were there, you know some of the differences among us, the business community groups, and some of them are created by the minister herself. One group said they didn't want to listen, to talk to the president while other traders were there. Yet they went into a team. And this is a team led by Mr. Kavanda and Katongole and others. It is called the Footer. So they chased away Kasita, they chased away the minister, they chased away everybody that they had a secret to tell the president. Which is secret wouldn't be battered. But when they came back to report back to the business community, it was controversy. And many were accusing the divisions that were caused between them and the presidency and the leadership of the business community as to having been instigated by the Honorable Minister for our own political interests. True or false is something that we didn't want to go into. We called the traders. We told them about how the president said he's going to meet them by the 31st. It wasn't easy to convince them, but we did because the president had respected us and called us to State House. Despite the fact that I personally had remained, but Kasita had gone, and the supreme authority in Kasita is the one who had attended. We had no dispute about that. So traders put us on task. Because they are losing capital, the taxes in kilos are still applicable. A container that would take 250 to 150 million goes to 600 to 800 million because of measurement of taxes or calculating taxes in kilos.
Mr. Sachito.
Which we told the president is an illegality according to that evaluation principles, according to WTO principles.
Mr. Sachito,
Community Customs Management Act.
Mr. Sachito, sorry to cut you short. Yesterday, we were able to observe that a section of some traders decided to go on a sit-down strike. And then there were also others who opened their shops to continue business as usual. Now, one may wonder, is this a kind of, something that has led to a breakdown amongst the traders where they are now choosing sides and not uniting against the cause or something?
Part of it, but we are managing it. And, state also has its functionaries, which is not a crime. that tries to lure people back into business. We are not accusing state of that. They are even promising. We got a letter from the Uganda police, publicly circulated, telling those who want to work to go back and work, for whom we have no complaint. But we have also, yesterday we held a meeting of sector leaders who re-emphasized the point to stand together, and we hope that today, as we enter day 2, it will be much better than yesterday. This is our hope, because we communicated back at the sector leadership, and it was by late evening that we left this meeting. So this is one of the divisions that I'm talking about, but it's not the point. The point is whether there are 10 shops closed, whether there are 100 shops closed, there are shops that are closed, and their reason is that we are adhering to. And as Kasita, we wouldn't go into who has opened, who has not opened. We go into the resolution that we passed. Whether they are all consulted and they are thinking we have a cause is a different thing, but that we sat and made a resolution, we need to follow it to the letter. They told us, please, we want to hear from the president. Let us have a definite date of engagement. If he doesn't want to meet us, we have no problem. He's very busy. Let him communicate to us through a legitimate media line, or through whether through a letter on how far is ending our issues of stalemate.
Okay, now, Mr. Sechito, addressing the issue of divisions in this cause, where you have some traders who are already opening their shops and running business, and then others that have decided to close the businesses. It begs for the question, is the strike failing, and probably could this be time for you to look for alternative ways of having your voices heard?
No, the strike is not failing. The strike is speaking ground. You know, there is a tendency among us Ugandans. If it doesn't bother you, you wait until it has caught up with you. The people who are 100% tight closed are the ones that are importing textile and garments, whose kilos or payment of taxes in kilos has never been suspended. The issues of IFRIS are on hold. The Chinese and the other manufacturers dealing in simple businesses is relaxing a bit. Also, it's not yet solved. So you see, the people who are not very active in this closure are the ones who think that matters were resolved. They see nobody coming them for IFRIS. Yet for us, as the leadership, we know, and those who have been engaging with the government, that it's the question of time, and they are going to bounce back at them. There is even an office that was built opposite Chikubo main gate, and the purpose is to look for information and the data, so that by the end of the day, the information that is being solicited now, even in private, people not in uniform, is to help the revenue according to information that is reliably gotten to us. They put you on IFRIS because they have been spying on you. So the division is because some people think matters were resolved. The division is because some taxes are relaxed. Save the taxes for the textiles and the garments. And you will see that most of the shops that are for importers of these items are the ones that have led and are the front line of the closure. We have no problem for those who think it is not coming their way. It will be unfortunate that by the time they wake up, it might be too late for them to realize this is something we need to concertedly get a solution. Also, the other thing is, I castigate politicians who think that by weakening the unity and the coherence that the traders have had before they are succeeding, I just pity them that they are also doing a disservice even to government, because it can create anarchy. If the business people no longer listen to their leaders and one day government wants to talk with them when they are on rampage, what would follow? We saw what was happening in Kenya in recent past. Nobody is commanding the youth. Nobody is commanding a talk between the people. They destroyed the property, they destroyed, and lives were also lost. So this is what Kasita stands for. Please, whatever the circumstance, whatever the divisions, if we agree on position, let us maintain that position and be coherently together. So that if government at the end of the day wants an engagement, there is an authority that can tell Treasurer do this or do that.
So now, Mr. Sechito, if and when the president gives traders the time to see them, what exactly do you want the president to do for the traders or the trading community?
My brother, my sister, this is very simple. Out of the hundreds of problems and challenges that the business people have, through the several engagements with the Minister of Finance, Minister of Trade, URA, and the entire government, including the president, we have summarized and sorted three. One, the president needs to manage the issue, escalating matter of local, foreign traders that have opened the shops, yet they are the ones who distribute the items produced to the dealers. Somebody sells to you 1,000 pairs of gumboots, for example. The same person who manufactures them sells to you at 8,000 shillings. You have rent to pay, you have taxes to pay, and any other costs. The same person brings in the neighborhood shop and is vending at 8,000 factory price. Tell me, who is going to buy from me? So they have entirely killed the trade order, and it is escalating not only to one sector, but almost all sectors where the Chinese particularly are producing, dealing, and even vending. This is a matter that we have explained it to the state, and they don't to appreciate it. Hello?
Okay, and the second issue?
The matter of measuring taxes on garments, there are agreed principles and guidelines on how taxes are paid in international trade. And this method is called GATT valuation, General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs. It is under Schedule 4 of the East African Customs Management Act. We agreed that the maximum tax payable under the East African Customs Management Act for garments is 35% import duty. Anybody above that, according to Section 2 of the GATT Valuation Agreement, is illegal. And Uganda, because they asked East Africa to stay application of that, they are charging an additional either 35% or $3.5 per kg, whichever is higher. The whichever is higher item is always up and above by almost 3 to 4 times the price of the one that is supposed to be applied. We have given the president an example of Argentina and America, both in the South American Customs Union. They were using the very same tool to stop textile and garments from America to Argentina. They took the matter to the World Trade Organization for interpretation. It was ruled that what Argentina was doing was illegal. Same position as Uganda. We have intimated that the presented this to the president in writing an explanation. And the president was asking, why are you and the Minister of Finance insisting on this if it is an illegality? We don't want to go to court because at times court takes a lot of time and money. By the time matter is disposed of, some of us should have been impoverished a long time ago.
Mr. Sechito, yes. Again, one may wonder how long. One may wonder how long do you intend?
Yes.
One may wonder how long do the traders intend to have this sit-down strike, as it kicked off yesterday? Then also,
from the last meeting we held,
okay,
We are thinking about up to Saturday.
Okay.
Unless something happens. Even if it happens now, it will go and open.
Okay. Now let's also run back a little bit to the last meeting on May 7th when you met with the president. A few of the quotes here from the president's address to the traders was that the taxation of these goods is deliberate simply because Uganda is spending close to $800 million on importing garments. Now let's have a conversation on the issue of manufacturing.
My brother.
Yes.
Kasita, with the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Directorate of Planning, made a research physically. We visited Ham, we visited GM Textile, we visited all people within this industry. What we discovered on record is that all the manufacturers of Uganda combined in textile industry cannot go beyond 3% production on the demand.
Okay.
Now, it is not good to put on second-hand items according to government. If now the demand 97% and all the manufacturers combined can only do 3%, people want to the government want people to participate. That's one. Two, we have a list of items that we have spotted and told the government that in this area, they listed 47 tariff lines where they are putting a kilo, taxes in kilos. We went to the Ministry of Finance, we went to URA, we told them, please, all these items are cosmetic. Where is the value addition on all these items? We said, if that's what you think, give us t-shirts, give us jumpers, give us stocks, give us vests. Because we had a dispute with the Uganda Revenue Authority that if the products that are produced are knitted, there is a process called the knitting, then that one goes into kilos. If they are machine woven and not hand woven, which is called the knitting, then those ones goes into the rates of 35%. We went to the National Analytical Laboratory in one area, and they proved that the items we submitted were machine woven. Now, this level of impunity, where do you want us to go now? If even science has proved that the tax you are applying on a product is going contra the required standards and laws. This is the point. So we don't want to say the money that we spend out on textiles and garments is not much. But where is the demand? Who is going to supply the demand that is massively here? So matters of legal interpretation, matters of standards, matters of demand, matters of employment, how many people are employed in these sectors are all the issues that we have presented to the government, and the president saw sense in them. Not that the president wants to keep coming to see us. He has so many other issues to see, but the president saw sense in some of our issues that we are deliberating on, and that's why he's taking more research. But now, the disrespectful manner, no deadline. He who doesn't know where he's going can never get lost. How do you say that we have been waiting for 3-4 times, and now you come out without an actual date on when the president is going to engage? When shall we know that we are lost?
So right now, among others, you want valid communication from the president, and two, you also have issues to do with the taxes that are imposed on some sectors, like the manufacturers, the people that import garments through kilos.
Yes.
Okay. What would be your parting shots, Mr. Sechito? And also, by the way, before that, this should still be your parting shot. But the question is, you said the strike might go on up to Saturday. In the event that you've not received any response in regards to your demands, what would be the way forward?
Then I don't control, and I have no moral authority to talk about what next before we sit. We reach our deadline, we sit and decide the next way forward. For now, that's what we deliberated even by late evening yesterday. That's what we had.
Okay, so your parting shots.
My parting shot is, I am calling upon the business community to be calm.
Okay.
I don't want them to force anybody to close. I want them to talk to them peacefully. Those who have decided to close, I am appealing to them not to provoke security. Let them stay home. It is better. There are many forces in town that want to demonstrate for anti-corruption tendencies, which is a good cause, but we don't want to mingle issues of demonstrating traders and those that are fighting corruption towards the parliament. Therefore, it should have been better that the business people who have opted to close stay away from the town so that they give room for those who want to work. After all, it is a question of time.
Okay.
Abaganda bagamba, Baganda say, ekiri atabala, ekiri anasigaddeka. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sechito, for sparing the time to speak to us about the grievances of the traders. Well, we've been speaking to the spokesperson of the Kampala Capital City Traders Association, CACITA, about the sit-down strike that is ongoing. It started yesterday after 2 of the meetings that were supposed to be held by the with the president were deferred. Now, the issue is not mainly on the deferral of the meetings, but how the communication regarding the postponement of the meeting was given to them. According to Mr. Sechito, they were sent a WhatsApp message through a WhatsApp group by the Minister for Kampala, and they want to receive proper communication from the President regarding their issues. But also he highlighted some of the issues traders are against and are grappling with, the issues they need the government and the President to pronounce himself on. We'll be following the development of this story, and we will be discussing it further here on Good Morning Uganda. For now, I'll take a short break, and Ruben Pima will be coming through with sports updates. Keep watching Good Morning Uganda, and we appreciate what you do every single morning from 6:30 to 9 a.m.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Coming soon on UBC.
Welcome to Inside Broadcasting, sharing with you the process behind what you see on the screens.
My name is Lorraine Masika Kazimoto.
Step behind the scenes and witness the magic that brings your daily broadcasts to life.
That's why I come out openly to actually tell you that I'm an investigative journalist. That even when you see me here, I'm actually investigating you guys. So you should be aware about that.
Experience the hustle, the heart, and the human stories of our on and off-air staff.
I see my phone ringing and I'm like, ooh, which number is this? I hear the president on the other line.
The president of the Republic of Uganda.
Of Uganda, yes.
Be inspired, amazed, and part of the journey that powers Uganda's most captivating TV and radio moments.
Because good broadcast comes down to an individual. They should be artistic.
This is Inside Broadcasting.
Inside Broadcasting. Inside Broadcasting with Marco Dullo.
coming soon on UBC.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.